What's up everybody, Coach Mills here, coming at you with a brand new Valorant video. And in this video, we're going to talk about some silent nerfs that went through in patch 4.10 and the community reaction, including some absolutely tilting bugs that affected everyone. And also we got to talk about Riot Esports and it potentially dying. There's a lot we got to break into, so we're going to do all of that. But the GameLeap website is the best place to pop off and dominate with in-depth tips, tricks, guides, and so much more. So if you want to climb to Immortal and Beyond really quickly, do yourself a favor and go check it out right now down below. So before we talk about the absolutely hilarious and tilting bugs and nerfs that went through in patch 4.10, we need to talk about Valorant esports, because Valorant is doing extremely well in the esports sector right now. The game is reaching record highs, colleges and high schools are getting involved, there is more and more people playing Valorant and interested in the esports. The game is on a really healthy trajectory, and I think even more than that, the fact that Riot is going to be putting ample resources into having a tournament in-game system that has the potential to lead you on the path to pro. There's a lot of exciting things coming soon to Valorant esports, and because it's already so healthy, people are just really happy and hyped and excited, and so am I. I love freaking esports. But there is something that's happening in 2023 that is extremely concerning, and it's a Valorant partnership system. And for those of you who don't really understand what that is, think of the Overwatch League, where organizations will buy a spot, and if they have a spot, then they will be able to have a team inside the league. Certain regions will have these teams, and the teams will play against each other on lands, whether the teams come from North America or Latin America or wherever they actually have official teams. They will all play against each other. There will be some big events, and while there are benefits to a system like this, I'm not going to say that there's no benefits, because what happens is a lot more money gets involved, advertisers gets involved, so the set gets huge, the scope gets huge, the potential tournament size, prize pool, and production gets insane. And there's a lot of really crazy cool potential when you move over to a system like this. But the thing that ultimately happens is a lot of people get trimmed out in the tier 2 and tier 3. Right now it says there's only going to be about 8 to 10 teams total among all regions, which imagine only having 6 orgs having a spot in NA. Like only 6 orgs period can be tier 1. And that's the big problem with a system like this oftentimes, is it makes a huge contrast between tier 1 and tier 2 and everything else. If you're an org that's not in the Premier League, you basically don't even really want to compete in Valorant. And that's another problem that happens, is people will only watch the events that happen in the Premier League, and no one will watch the regular tier 2 and tier 3 tournaments. And then orgs don't want to develop these players or invest in these players because it's really hard for these orgs to break in to the primary system. So it just kind of shatters the tier 2 and tier 3. Like, no one is interested. Now, Riot is attempting to bridge that gap with the in-game tournament system, so it's going to be incredibly hard to know exactly how that's going to work. It depends on how good the tournament system is, and it depends on if they actually make an ample effort to drag people up. And of course, in my opinion, there needs to be space for these players to occupy, and just 8 to 10 teams, if that's the max that we're gonna have, that's really not enough for all the players that want to get involved and all the potential players that could get involved. Basically, this is incredibly scary, and I'm not gonna talk as if we know all the information, because there could be more information that we're missing, and it's really important to understand that. But until we get clarity, the only thing that comes out of this is uncertainty. Because if you just allow only 8 to 10 teams into the tier 1 and everyone else gets cut out basically, then all of a sudden you could see something crazy, like over 50% of the orgs just pull out of Valorant completely. And that would be a super huge tragedy, not just for people that are trying to grind, not just for all the orgs, but just for us. We love watching tournaments, we love watching esports. So that's just something that I wanted to talk about, and I want to hear your opinion about all of that down below. But I gotta move on to the craziness that happened at patch 4.10, because it absolutely just freaking broke everything, and it's so funny. The first thing that we need to talk about was the fact that there was these stupid mute party buttons on the side where you have a mute party, mute team that would just not leave. Like, there was Twitter post after Twitter post of people just complaining about it, and it was incredibly annoying. Like, it was distracting, it was annoying, and I had no idea that it was something that everyone was dealing with. Like, I logged on, I saw it, I was like, okay, I'll log out, restart, log back in, still there. I was like, all right. I just like was doing it. I did like 4 times before I went and asked some of my friends, and they're like, yeah, it's been on all of our screens. I'm like, god damn it. But yeah, it's pretty funny, pretty tilting. They have since fixed it, but that wasn't even the worst big bug that happened. The worst bug that happened was RAZE's satchels got shadow nerfed. And if you need to know exactly what that looks like, we're gonna check out this clip right here where you see that on the old patch, you were actually able to fly really, really far. And then with the shadow nerf, all of a sudden you could not get the same airtime and you could not go as far, which is just, it's really funny because I have players that were like, what the hell? That was happening to me in games. I was playing RAZE. I thought I was just messing up. I thought things just felt weird. And on top of that, there was like satchel boombot problems as well. And yeah, it was just really bad. And for a day, like RAZE players were probably just like losing their minds because the patch just, you know, actually silently nerfed her. But since Riot has not only fixed the mute problem, but has also fixed the RAZE problem, but I just think it's funny how like this just randomly snuck in there and players might not have even known that it was in there, and they were just playing RAZE and just bottom fragging because they're just like, what the hell is happening? But definitely let me know if you've seen any big bugs and they have been affecting your game. Do you play RAZE? Did you feel those problems? And what do you think about Valorant esports in the future? I want to hear your opinion about all that. Let me know down below. And the GameLeap website right now is the absolute best place to climb. We have advanced videos that you won't find anywhere else, so do yourself a favor and go check it out right now down below.